Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. And it's really beautiful to be here, okay? Somebody said, how do Lori and I like Australia? Well, we haven't seen much of Australia, but we love the people, but we always have. We've been trying to get here for years, and now we're here because of Roz. Right, Roz?
Yes, because of me.
That's right. Well, it is, because she put it all together. Thank you, Roz. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to welcome everyone here tonight, and thanks for giving your time and making the commitment to yourself to be here for this amazing night, to listen and participate in the evening. And big thanks to Daryl and his wife for being over here. It's been a long time coming and very appreciative, and I think most people who know Daryl will say the same. It's been, they've been probably waiting for this for a long time. And those of you who haven't, or new to Daryl, haven't seen much of him, you won't be disappointed. So thank you guys for coming. In a minute, I'll tell you a little bit of housekeeping for the evening. Actually, I might as well tell you now. Bathrooms, we have one this way. There's a kitchen down there. If you go through the kitchen, turn right. I'm allowed to say men's and ladies, and also there's 2 sets upstairs as well, so there's plenty of bathrooms. Anything happens that you hear a fire alarm, run out screaming out the door. I'm not expecting that to happen, so that's pretty much it. If anyone's feeling a bit dehydrated, there's some water over on the table for you, okay?
And also, if you came in, make sure that you give your email. This is not to sell you something, but when we come back, when we do a lecture or thing, that's all that's for. It's not about sales. And make sure you get the QR code. There's a QR code, and understand I've never done this before, and you're gonna love it. You're really gonna love it. We just put about another, honestly, no exaggeration, 500 hours into the Perfect Day Guide, Lifestyle Guide. We give that Perfect Day Lifestyle Guide when somebody has a consultation. They pay $150 from us, they get lifetime support, and then we give them that PDF, but there's no time to waste anymore. Whether or not somebody wants a consultation or not, we need to get that guide out. I promise you, if you read this guide, this 400-page guide, that's it. That guide's more intelligent than 99% of all the natural health practitioners out there. And I'm telling you, it is. If you follow it, it's a massive personal action guide. It will show you every symptom you have is an emotional, dysfunctional disorder. It will show you how to do things that you've never heard of before. Like every woman here needs to embrace vaginal infusion. Every man and woman needs to embrace therapeutic vomiting, and you don't know about that. And you think, oh my God, I'm not bulimic. Why would I throw up? Well, I don't know. How many times have you said, you make me sick to my stomach? Okay? So the reality is there's things that we show you to take massive personal action. Remember something. Everybody, not everybody, but the majority of the population come from fear and poverty consciousness. So they don't want to give you massive take action steps that you're going to look after your life. Okay? I'm going to be talking about some things tonight, and then we're going to get what we're going to do tonight. I called this the cause or the cure. And what we're going to do is we're going to play Name That Disease. Okay? And I'll go into it, but what we want to do is we want you to come up or at least sit right here or sit there in that empty chair and talk to me about what you believe is incurable, and I'll tell you it's not. There's no such thing as incurable. It's a lie. It's always been a lie. Is there anything you want to share, Roz? Personally, go ahead.
Not personally at this stage.
Oh, not personally. No, she doesn't want to get personal. Okay.
No, you keep going. You're good. You're going well.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll set you free.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Have the mic for the next victim.
For the next victim, that's it. Okay, that's it. That's what you think of me. Okay. All right. We got that straight. Okay, so anyways, Let's talk about, I don't want to talk like all night, just go, and just like throw up all over you. I don't want to do that. I really want to just kind of help you understand something, and maybe you won't understand it, and maybe you'll think, I don't know what I'm talking about. How's that? But just know this, I'm going to jump right into it. This is harvest time. This is harvest time of humans. Whether you know this or not, I want you to go do some research and then challenge me. Come on a show, one of my shows, anytime you want. You can get a physician, a surgeon, get your scientists, get anybody you want to challenge me. Remember something, okay? It's not how much information you have, it's how logical you are. And if you've ever done really any research. And the reality is just know this, that most of the things you know are a lie, and they're not true. And the human being is amazing when it understands that 99% of a human is spirit. 99.999% is spirit. And when you feed your spirit, you rise. That's it. That's it. You are as sick as you are because you have sick beliefs. You're as skinny as you are because you have skinny beliefs. You're as fat as you are because you have fat beliefs. You're as poor as you are because you have poor beliefs, because you have poverty thinking. And the reality is it's so easy to program a human being. Understand something. Everything has been a lie. Everything is absolutely a lie. Let me ask you a question. What is the medical system for? No, and we don't want to be cruel, but what are they for? What are they actually for? They are there to sell petroleum. Drugs are made out of petroleum. If you really did your digging, you would know that in 1917, the Rockefellers started the American Cancer Association. And the reality is there was no cancer. There was only very few cases because it was planned to create cancer. And that's what they did. But understand something. You know, there's people in here that have done chemo, radiation. You've got lots of friends that are going to do it. You've got lots of friends that are going to go and get surgery and chop out parts of the body that, you know, that they've been putting issues in their tissues. Remember something, everything is an issue in your tissue, right from a pimple to a cyst to a tumor. If you could wrap your head around this, that everything is energy. Everything is absolutely energy. And I don't want to get into it, and you don't have to believe things, but if somebody has a different belief, it doesn't mean that you need to hate them or not like them. Just know this. What you think about this planet, most of you, it's so wrong. All of these different colors of people, all these different languages, it was a setup to make us come and attack each other. There is a great source, but the reality is this, and this is my own belief, and I just want to put it to bed. And the more I say it, the more comfortable I am, even when people don't like it. And it's this. On the grand scheme of things, human beings are low vibrational beings in the universe. They eat and they poop. I wouldn't say that's the highest vibrational being, would you? They also get sick a lot. Okay? Would you say it's a high vibrational being? It could be a high vibrational being because you don't have to get sick a lot. You don't have to get sick at all. I'm not saying I don't get tired, but you know, both of my parents, they passed on with cancer before they were 55 years old. Most of my family has had cancer or heart disease, but we already know that heart disease is the main killer. But do you know why it is? You know some people, and they can just eat garbage all their life and they don't have heart disease. Then you've got people that try to watch their diet and they've got heart disease. Now, why is that? Because the heart is an emotional organ. It actually stores all your love affairs. And guess what? Everybody with heart disease, they've never loved themselves. And guess what? They've been trying to find love outside themselves, and it doesn't work. Because guess what? When you're desperate for love, well, what happens when you're desperate for anything? It never works out well. And you know as well as I do that most of your love relationships have never worked out. You know right now that most of your love relationships aren't working out. They're not. They're not working out. It's not bliss and harmony. It was for the first year and a half. So don't give me the bullshit. You know, how you doing? Well, you know, we have our ups and downs. Okay, you go to an anniversary where they've been married for 25 years, and you go, so how's it going? Well, you know, we've hung in there. Oh, good. I can see the rope is almost around your neck. You need to understand something, and this is the deal. Love is just an ingredient, and believe it or not, there is an entity on this planet that lives off of all human suffering. Well, think about it. You know, there's one thing to be power hungry, and there's another thing to actually destroy people. Make them believe they have to go to war with each other, spill blood all the time, create different belief systems. I mean, religion has killed more people on this planet, but you'll still go and you'll call it your faith. Yeah, we are the most intelligent species in the universe. The reality is this: most people don't think, okay? They just react, okay? So the reality is how many people know that the Rockefellers did a major study, and this was a long time ago, because whether you want to believe it or not, the Rockefellers are related to the Rothschilds, and they're related to the Queen of England, and all of the elites around the world are all the same family, and they would never go to bed with you because you are dirty, and they will only interbreed with themselves. And that's been going on for 150,000 years, and you don't even know that. You think it's just something that happened yesterday. And they've been always, they were given the keys to the financial system. So the reality is you might want to think about it like this, because I'm still trying to figure it out, and I'm going, well, you know, maybe I'm just an infant spirit, but the reality is you do know that we are captive prisoners on here. We are captive prisoners on this planet, because we do not need a financial system. You don't need money because there's enough water, there's enough food, there's enough everything on this planet. It's all just a bunch of BS, and that's the truth. So you couldn't give me a bit of science to prove that it's true, except that you heard it so many times that you believe it. That's all. There could be 100 billion people on this planet, and guess what? You wouldn't even know it. It's amazing. You'll believe anything. And the reality is let's give you a little thing, okay? How many people have gotten mad at their family because they didn't recycle properly? Meanwhile, they put the burden on us, and it's our fault that the planet's getting poisoned. Meanwhile, it's the Rockefellers that took all the glass off the shelf to put everything in plastic. So everything's wrapped in plastic now, which is petroleum. You know, you couldn't make me feel guilty about anything if you tried. Okay? And I mean absolutely anything. I just want you to know who I am, and then you can decide whether you want to hang out with me. And if you don't, I get it. The reality is if you like me or don't like me, it doesn't matter to me. The reality is I know that I need to love everyone. The reality is if I have difficulty loving someone, then I need to focus on who I can love easier. That's the deal. That's how this whole thing works. You know, my mother used to say to me, come on, she's your aunt, get along with her. Well, there's no getting along with her. And the reality is I don't care, family, damnly. The reality is this, I've met people that I've only met for 2 minutes, and I felt more love than some of the people that call my family. And so I don't go for that bullshit either, and I do use that word. And that's the reality. And the reality is that I'm going to have the most beautiful life down here. I am going to be free, and I am free. And you know, the reality is you being silent is not free. And you staying silent is not safe. And the reality is all we had to do, did you know if we had 2% of the population unconditionally love themselves, it would change the whole game. And the game has never changed, and guess what? You do know, do your science, this is the 6th extinction. And you do know that petroleum is, all the gas and the oil that we put in our cars is not made from dinosaurs. So whenever you're done with that BS too, the reality is the petroleum will never run out. It's being made faster in the ground than we use it. You didn't know that either. I know you didn't, so don't tell me you did. You just, oh my God, we're running out of food, we're running out of air, we're running out of water, we're running out of... You know what? The reality is they're going to get us to do whatever they can get us to do because... And there's like 250,000 of them. That's it. And there's 8 billion of us. And the only reason why they're always going to hog tie us is because they don't even like each other. But they want to keep the power. Think about it. Think about if you came from a family of a heritage of 150,000 years, okay, because I don't believe in the caveman stuff either, sorry about it. But I'm not going to go for that. And I'm not going to go for most of the stories that you believe in that are way back his story. I don't believe in any of them. None of them. Absolutely none of them. I don't believe in any of your stories. And the reality is guess what? You keep on doing the same thing and you keep on getting the same results. I have the greatest life. I don't have a house. I don't have a lot of materialistic of anything. You know, the reality is this, like 14 years ago, I was worth $2,200. And it was the greatest time of my life. Because when I lost everything, I became everything. And I realized something. That guess what? I will never be scared again. You couldn't scare me if you tried. Look, I'm on platforms right now. Oh, they're going to come and get you, dear. Well, I got people go on here. We'll pray for you. You go ahead and do that. Okay? All right? Okay? But you're going to get your knees sore. Okay? Pray like this. Give it to me, baby. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I don't beg for anything. I don't pray for anything. I demand everything. Believe it or not, that which you call creator, you got it all mixed up. 1 minute it loves you, 1 minute it doesn't love you, and then you call it a guy. Really? Seriously? Women create, men destroy. I don't think it's a guy. So that's it. Let's get that out of the way. And the other thing too is that you actually think that there's something so powerful to create a whole universe, and they're worried that you took cookies from the jar, or that you went to bed with someone, or that you stole something. Oh, but you all believe this, that the government people and the psychos are all going to get theirs. When are you going to wake up? They're not going to get theirs. You need to mind your own business, shut your mouth, and go get yours. You think I'm kidding? I'm being very serious. Stop talking about them. They have no part in my life. They have no part. They play no part in my life. None. Listen. I searched for 25 years, okay? I did everything that I could to pay no taxes because they're illegal. Taxes are illegal, but the problem is that the majority of the population pays taxes. So, I can't count on you guys, God, why don't you just stop? You're not going to stop. But then I found it. So I'm going after everything. We take hundreds of people to Puerto Rico. And that's what the elite do. You know that Revenue Canada and the IRS, do you know where their head office is? In Puerto Rico. It's the only place in the world that's not an offshore account that you can get a corporation. I'm not trying to remember something, whether you want to believe it, health is also wealth and wealth is also health. And I didn't make up the game. I would like to get rid of money completely, but it's not going to happen because that's the stronghold they have on you because you're all working your butts off to make it. So the reality is I search for everything, so I have a statesman. There's only 6 people in North America that can pull this off. So we're taking all our practitioners, we take our patients, we take everybody over there, we get them corporations, they never pay more than 4% tax ever again. They buy 2 corporations, they don't pay any tax. The 4% goes to a nonprofit, and guess what? These guys can't do anything about it. IRS can't do about it. Canada Revenue can't do about it, because guess what? Their head office is in Puerto Rico because they don't want to pay tax. I'm just trying to show you something. And that's why I said to you, what is the medical system for? The medical system, here it is. I've always wanted to be a nurse because I want to help people. Well, you know that if you're a nurse, you're not helping them. You know that you are soothing them in their suffering and their pain. That's about it. Okay, if you're a medical doctor, then you know that you're lying to yourself every day. No, it's true. I don't care if there's a medical. Come on up here and sit here and tell me you're not. You're lying to yourself. See, the reality is this, is that the medical system is in emergency care, right? Yes or no? So if you go to somebody who only does emergency care, what will they make you into? An emergency. You can't have enough surgery. You can't take enough drugs. And understand something. The people that go to the medical system all the time, do you know that they're actually running a hate program for themselves and don't even know it? Well, you have to be. Why would you take drugs like that and poison yourself, right? And you know that even when you don't feel pain, you don't feel the inflammation anymore, guess what? It's still raging on inside of you. All you did was shut the signal off, and that's why you still get worse. You still get old. You still get stiff. You still grow things inside of you. Whether you want to believe this or not, and then I'm going to drop the topic, and then we're going to come back down to earth, okay? There's an evil entity, and the Rockefellers, and the Rothschilds, and all the royals, they serve this evil entity on here. And if you ever watched Monsters, Inc., the cartoon, that is a true story. And guess what? I don't do any suffering. And guess what? I don't suffer. I'm not suffering for you, and I'm not suffering for the planet. You can, okay, look at, do you know how many women and men in here jockey to see that they suffer more than anybody else in the family so that they say that they love the family more than anyone else? You're psycho. You're psycho. And that's because it's so easy to program a human being. Guess what? Whether you like it or not, you could become the most powerful person and have the most beautiful life. Or you could be like 99.9% of the population and your life sucks and sometimes you have a good time. Well, tell me this. You'll know if you're the majority because every time you celebrate, you poison yourself and your family. Hey, let's celebrate. We've done so well. Bring out tons of sugar and alcohol and let's just light her up, baby. So you have to understand that. That's why there's so... You know what? We went to the airport, okay, this morning in Melbourne, and we went and we were in a restaurant, and I was trying to see if I could get something good to eat. Lori and I, at 9:30 in the morning, were the only ones that didn't have a martini or a beer or a glass of wine sitting in front of them. So understand something. If you could actually be the master of your emotions, you would own it all. Let me tell you something. How well did you do with COVID? Because COVID showed you how emotionally healthy you are. Because guess what? 99% of you, things are going great when it's going great. But as soon as there's a bump in the road, you lose your shit. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And you can't stop talking about the guy who was voted to run this country. I mean, I just can't go anywhere and everybody's talking about him still. Who cares? You know, you got to understand, you do not get up high in government unless you're toxic. You don't get up high in government unless you're sick. And then you go and talk about it. Oh, but he'll get his. There's people in this room that think that he's going to get his. And he's never going to get his because he's protected by the families that are protected by the evil entity that needs you to have dis-ease, meaning not at ease, so that you're suffering because it lives off of your pain. And understand, whether you want to believe this or not, that was the game down here. That if you could unconditionally love yourself, mind your own business, feed your spirit and rise up, you could blow off this place and move to the next level. Because guess what? The universe is a PlayStation game. So you can keep on dying and recycling it, just like you recycle your BS, your belief systems. You have the same fights, the same arguments with your kids, with your husband and everybody else, and I don't. Doesn't matter. I've got adult children. They'll be like, and I'm just like, okay, so here's the deal. This is what I would do. Do you want to do that? Okay, I'll be seeing you later. And then I'll just go swimming. But you'll engage. But you will engage. Listen, not 9 out of 10 here, but I would say 29 out of 30 will engage in this room. And you'll say, no, I don't. And I say, yes, you do. Because you should be able to walk away from that in total unconditional love for yourself and not be affected. You walk around feeling responsible for your children. If they have a bad day, it's your fault. What a bunch of BS. And that's why you're sick, and that's why you're going to remain sick. And guess what? This is a training ground down here. Guess what? If you could pull off unconditionally loving yourself, you've proven yourself. So you know what everybody talks about? God is unconditional love. We were created by God. So what do you think the game might be? To become unconditional love. If you had unconditional love for yourself, you wouldn't need surgery and you wouldn't get sick. And if you had unconditional love for yourself, would you protect yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself? Or would you just eat crap all the time? Think about it. Tell me I'm wrong. Challenge me. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that when you go anything to a medical person, if you didn't have a sports injury or you didn't have a car accident, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? What are you doing there? I'm losing my shit. I need drugs. You know, you can buy a lot less toxic drugs on the street. You do know that, right? That's what I'm told. See, the reality is don't do drugs, do ours. Just know that everybody in this room has addictions. I have addictions. I'm addicted to self-love and self-care. I'm addicted to loving everyone, no matter if they love me. Because guess what? I just won the game. Who do you hate? And don't tell me you don't. What do you hate and who do you hate? There's your sickness. There's your sickness. Because guess what? When you play Monopoly, do you have a tantrum because you don't like the rules? Well, you might. Well, just remember something. This is planet Earth, a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. And you do need to know we're on the 6th extinction, and that's science. And you do know we are going to go extinct. You do know that in 7 to 10 years, 30% of the population minimum is gone. You do know why, right? The psychos don't have to do anything. Because guess what? Why don't we just go, and for the next couple of days, we'll just go and take a look at everybody's cupboard here. And we'll see all the poison that you have. And then I'll say to you, so what's your diet like? I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's really good compared to my brother who's killing himself too. And what you do is you compare yourself to the majority of the population, which is, do you want to know statistics right now? Okay, 82% of the population is overweight, 65% is obese, okay? 50% of the population has inflamed fatty liver. 20% of all children have inflamed fatty liver. That never even existed 20 years ago. If a child is 12 years old, they are predicted to die before their parents. 60% of the population will experience cancer. All right, okay? That's how it's climbing. And guess what? Around 60 to 64%, depending where you go, are going to have heart disease. Okay, so there's actually, and then guess what? 85% of the population is pre-diabetic. And just so you might want to know this, 30% of all children are pre-diabetic now. So the reality is they don't need to do anything because you're all programmed to knock yourself off, or at least most of you. And the reality is you could, if you want, we can go around and I can tell you what you're doing to yourself. Some of you would never want that because who does he think he is? Remember something, okay? Everybody wants to be lied to today. Nobody wants the truth. Yes or no? And guess what we do to the victim? We stroke the victim. We don't tell the victim to become a hero. We don't challenge the victim to become a hero. We allow the victim to be a victim. Let me tell you something. I'll be 67 in a few days. Now, understand something. How many people do you see limping? Next year, they've got a cane. The following year, a walker. The next year, a wheelchair. Nobody knows what to do with them. So now we know that we have 10 times more natural health practitioners than we do medical people now. Did you know that? That's why they're coming after the nutraceuticals. And because it's time for them to pull it all back. See, you have to understand that back in 1900, they destroyed energy medicine. Okay? And they destroyed 110 universities and colleges, okay, in North America. It cost about $100 million. And the only universities and colleges that were open after 1920 were just the ones that the Rockefellers and Rothschilds wanted. And that were the only ones that were going to carry their drugs. So the reality is they weren't even around then. And back then, medical doctors were called quacks, and now I'm the quack. See, whoever has the most money is going to flip switch, right? So the reality is most people don't eat real food at all anymore. You know, I used to think that people, why would there be a drive-in, a fast food place on every corner? I thought, my gosh. And then sometimes they're empty a lot, aren't they? And sometimes they're busy. But the reality is that then I go, oh my God, I forgot. That's right. The Federal Reserve isn't owned by the federal government. It's owned by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds. And they own all the banking around the world, and money doesn't exist for them. So that's why they can buy up every corner and put a fast food thing there. And then guess what? Your tax dollars, they actually subsidize, and so that there's more dairy in there, more sugar in there. It's just to poison you. And guess what? They do all this for an evil entity that lives on this planet that God allows here, because you're supposed to wake up and supersede it and show that you've got a brain and you love yourself enough not to have just 4 inches of consciousness. What do you think of that? I wouldn't even want to go into, just looking at the shape of some of you, I wouldn't want to look in your fridge or your cupboard. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to do it. And if I said, so how's your diet? It's pretty good, yeah. We're in the process of changing things, yes. And when I hear that, you do know that we're set up for everything. They gave us that. I'm in the process, that was the next one they gave us. So how's things going with your program? Oh, I'm in the process, oh yeah. Well, you would have to live until you were 1,000, the rate you're going. Yeah. Hey, come on, seriously. I mean, you go to the mall around 2 o'clock, you know, you could get run over by a wheelchair. The reality is there's a lot of people in wheelchairs that shouldn't be in wheelchairs. It's just that, guess what? They gave up. They gave up. And people give up. And they give up because they have a broken heart. Because guess what? They've been looking for love, and they can't find love. And then they don't believe that they deserve love, so they would never love themselves. Why would I love me? I'm a piece of crap. Right? And so they give up. And so, believe it or not, a lot of people are just trying to kill themselves without doing it, without knowing it. They're coming for us again in just a few months. They're going to be coming at us with the 15-minute city, climate change, a new virus, okay, all right, which virus stands for poison, and I've never seen poison jump. And this one, I hear this one's going to be able to jump 12 feet. Yeah, it's a new Olympic record. Think about it. Think about it. 8 billion to 250,000. And we can't get our act together. Think about this. Do you know why the harvest is on now? Because they own the military, they own the police, they own health care. And Government has never done anything and never will, so whatever, you go ahead and vote all you want, but I would just vote for yourself and vote for your children and vote for your wife and your husband and just vote for a better life and mind your own business, because guess what? It can never be anything but corrupt. And guess what? Everybody who gets into government, they either want the pension or they have good initiatives. But then as soon as they start to climb up, then there's some videos taking them doing some bad things. And then they get to do bad things forever. And as long as they're doing that. So come on, guys. So we don't even want to participate. We yawn and we walk the other way. We stop talking about it. God, everybody's so worried about having health insurance. Really. I just wish I had health insurance so I could just radiate myself. No, wait a minute. I could just put my head in the microwave. That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I wish I had health insurance so I could take all the drugs and the poisons. Oh, no, I want health insurance so they can just chop things out of my body instead of me bringing up my vibration. You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. What you think is everything. What you think is everything. And you know it. When you're happy, do you have energy? When you're happy, are you happy? Okay. When you're fearful, what happens? You don't have energy. What happens? You feel sick. You drain yourself. So they know that. They're coming again. So what are you going to do to stay connected? Well, you got to learn how to breathe. 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. Not shallow and fast, but deep and slow. Feeling your chest expand so that you can connect to source, whatever that is, whatever that means to you. A slight smile on your face. 3, 2, 1, I got this. You don't have to do anything. You know, these are all just bylaws. These aren't laws. You know, New Zealand, it's illegal now to have nutraceuticals and supplements in New Zealand now. And guess what? That's not a law. They pushed it through with the Emergency Act, just like they did with the V. Okay? And just know something. Whether you believe it or not, the Royals own Australia. They own Canada. They own New Zealand. We're all in the same bucket. And right? And they're going to try to do this. See, it's just time. It's time. It's been what? 115 years since they tried to bring down the health industry. And it's time to do it. They've ramped the poisons up in the water, the air, and the food. Now if we can get rid of the nutraceuticals, that's it. Think about it. If your family was in charge of poisoning and creating suffering for over 100,000 years, I hope you're listening. Do you think after a while you might just get a big head about it all? Do you think maybe their addiction is feeding off of us? Do you think they've lost it? They consider us ants. So I'm going to leave this alone, but understand something. It's an important topic. And all you have to do is walk out of this place today and wear a slight smile all the time. And you don't need anybody to do anything nice. You don't need anybody to tell a joke. You're just going to go out there and you're going to love your life. You're going to smile. You're going to breathe. You're going to go 3, 2, 1. I got this. You're going to make healthy choices. You're going to do it. Look. Whether you want to believe this or not, okay? I had a small salad today, and I had a thing of juice, and I drank a lot of water, but that's it. And the reality is you don't get it, but your thoughts are everything. The image I have of me is unconditional love. No matter how you try to make me feel bad, make me into a sinner, make me feel like a failure or a loser, I'll love you anyway, but I'm not buying into it. Some of you have beliefs that will constrain you for the rest of your life. Okay? Think about it. The same thing can happen to you as everyone else in here. You could have done something And your beliefs will hold you captive for the rest of your life, and you'll feel guilty. Guess what? I'm not going to have any. And guess what? But I'm going to hell, and you're not. So you just did judgment jail on yourself. Now, and how many people in here feel guilty about something that happened in their past, and the person's not even alive now, or the person's not even around? So if they are alive, you should call them up every day and tell them that you're still suffering. At least get something out of it. There is not a belief or any type of rule that you should suffer over anything for. You should observe and learn, not judge and burn. Which one should we do? Judge and burn? Or observe and learn? Yeah. And understand something. Don't tell me you didn't. But when you raised your kids, you judged them. And when they started to walk and talk, they walked and talked like you. So you loved some things and other things you didn't like, but you didn't know that they were acting like you and your partner or your spouse. So you spanked them. So you were actually spanking yourself. So the reality is they came here to try to give you one more shot at loving yourself and being a mirror to show you how you could grow. But guess what? It was so easy to program you to then punish these little spirits. And don't tell me you didn't. Don't feel guilty about it, but when are we going to stop this family curse? When are we going to stop? I'll tell you when we're going to stop, when we unconditionally love ourselves, fill up our own heart, and don't make everybody else responsible. And understand something and know that, guess what? People aren't bad. People just have bad beliefs. Are doctors bad? No. Do they believe it's the only way? Yeah, you can be programmed and live in a tunnel and not know a better way. It's our way because they're so focused on it. But at the same point, we've all been given a brain. But here's the problem. 10% of your brain is your conscious mind. You do know that almost everybody in this room is only in their conscious mind 2% of the day. 98% of the day, this is science. You're not in your conscious mind. You're in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind never talks to your conscious mind. But your conscious mind can talk to your subconscious mind. But to create a new dominant, prominent thought, you'd have to talk to your subconscious mind 10,000 times. Oh, listen, you're a genius, Daryl. You got this. No, that's the old you. You're going to be the greatest lecturer alive. You're going to help people. You're not a sinner. And if you are a sinner, it's only because if you look up the dictionary, it's you missed the mark. So go practice and get it right. But you guys go and believe whatever you want. That there's an old guy with a beard and he's judging you. And if you don't put yourself in hell, he's going to take you there. And then people will come on here on Facebook and on these other ones, and you know what they'll say? You'll get yours. You'll get yours. You're going to hell. Go to hell, Dr. Wolf. Okay. But not right now. You just made all this stuff up. Do you really want to heal? Do you really want to be healthy? Do you really want to be wealthy? Then focus on it. Yeah, but money's dirty. Well, of course, that's what you've been taught. Money doesn't grow on trees, you know. No, I get that. But guess what? There's enough of it for everybody. As soon as you believe that you're enough. I'm too stupid. I don't know what to do. For one thing, most of you here have a job. I don't have a job. There's no way that I could keep this pace if this was a job. Okay? And the reality, too, is guess what? If this was a job, I wouldn't come here tonight. I'm not making any money. I had to pay for my own hotel. I had to pay for my own airplane. Nobody's going to give me any money tonight. Why? I don't need any money. I'm abundant. I'm giving you my books, my best books. I'm giving you everything because I'm everything. So when you believe you're everything, you'll get everything. You'll become that. There's not one time in your life that you need to feel guilty about anything. But you don't believe that, do you? Because it's been shoved down your throat that if you're not guilty, you'll never go to heaven. Right? So that means if we suffer today, we can have heaven tomorrow. Really? Some of you are so into suffering, you hardly have any joy or happiness in your life. And most of you believe that you have to suffer more than anybody else in the family to prove you love them. Every woman in here was programmed to suffer more than her children and her husband. Yes or no? Well, what a moronic thing to do. Seriously. How did it make you feel? Did you feel good about it? Did it make you strong? What'd you get out of it? Satisfaction of being a woman? Well, I don't want to be one. Thank you. Because I am not going to be anybody's nipple 24 hours a day. Thank you. Until there's nothing left. You'll be rolling them up at night. Do you understand? It's all ridiculous. It's all programming. Why do you think you go to school when you're 5 years old? Yeah, and when you got out of school, don't tell me you did. Most of you didn't know how to feed yourself. You didn't know how to love yourself. Okay? You didn't know how to take care of yourself. But then you got together with someone else that didn't know how to do it either. And then you decided you were going to bring a spirit body into the world. Right? And how'd that work out? The reality is it's got to stop. It's got to stop. What do you think? Something to think about? You can see what I do, eh? When I'm on the plane. Just know this. Let yourself off the hook completely. Just try it, okay? Oh God, I don't want to do that. I'll go to hell. But let yourself off the hook completely and get to a point that you never have to forgive yourself or anyone else again. And then let's see how many people you murder. So people actually believe that if they unconditionally love themselves, that would be selfish. So if you unconditionally love yourself, what would you have to give to everyone? What would you give them? Unconditional love. So if you conditionally love yourself, what would you give everyone? Conditional love. That's it. It's as simple as that. Now you're going to struggle with this because guess what? The longer and stronger that you have been force-fed a belief. So let's just say when you're having a really good day, you're feeling really blissful and you're feeling really connected to the creator of all things. Write down everything that you would like to become. And then you make sure you read that every morning and you read it every night and you stick to it. But do not talk to any of your family or friends because as soon as you start to unconditionally love yourself, they will get stressed out and they will stop you from doing it. And they will call you selfish. Look at, go home and try to eat right when your husband doesn't want to. Because that's almost every woman. Oh, I had to drag him here. I had to drag him to eat it. Well, he doesn't really believe it. Oh my God. My husband did come with me tonight, but guess what, Dr. Wolf? And then he says to me, yeah, I have to listen to you in the background all the time. I get that every time I go to a lecture. Oh, that's just too bad. Yeah, I'm probably going to steal your wife too. No, that's what I do. Paranoid schizophrenic, eh? Yeah? Watch out what you're trying to protect. If you're not changing 1% every day, you're not going to make it. You need to be changing 1% every day, and in 100 days, you've got a new personality. And if you want to get rid of a disease, you've got to change your personality, and that's it. Because disease means you're not at ease. That's all it means. And does everybody know there are no diseases? I want you to prove to me there's one disease. And then the reality is there is no diseases. There's just symptoms. And you know what those symptoms are? Messages. Your body's saying, why can't you love me? Why can't you make better decisions? And then guess what? That's not true. I've got a chronic disease, Daryl. I've got an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease means that the body's attacking itself, but you were attacking yourself here first. Okay? All right? Yeah, you knew you were in pain. You didn't do anything about it. Oh yeah, you did. You took Advil, and then it started, and then it just kept going on and on and on and on, right? You had to have a drink to calm yourself down or to be with him every night because that's how good the relationship is. And I'm not going to look, but guess what? Let me just say this. The person that does this all the time, anxiety, stress, and they're going to have a neurological disease. Yeah, and that is a very anxiety, stressful person. This all the time, look. Okay? Not good, not good. And that's somebody waiting because something's going to go wrong, and I got to be ready. I got to be prepared and understand, okay? Yeah, there was 3 people, and they just stopped doing it, okay? And I can't see the other rows. Okay, I'm just letting you know that that's what it is. And that person will have it. They'll have Bell's palsy or they'll have some kind of neurological disease, Parkinson's. It'll come for them. Because you can't do this. You know what this is doing? Putting your nervous system on edge all the time. That's what it's doing, okay? All right, so I just thought I would share that, and you want to stop it as soon as you can. And guess what? If you just started breathing and you smile, this doesn't happen. And most of the people that do this, it's because they've been traumatized, and they're still not over the trauma because they keep telling the story. Because you have to understand, there is no PTSD. They just made that name so it sounds gentler because they didn't want to keep saying it was shell shock, right? Because somebody might clue in that we're not supposed to go and kill our brothers and sisters, right? So then just call it PTSD, right? And PTSD is just where you keep on telling the same story over and over again. If you didn't notice, did you not notice that we are now in the generation of victims? Like, you know how many victims are in this room? Okay, and they keep telling their story. I mean, I had this one gentleman call me up and go, guess what? I figured it out. Yeah, Dr. Wolf, you were right. You know, it's the trauma and drama that was in my life, and I just haven't dealt with it. But don't worry, I've got it figured out. I just got myself a certified PTSD therapist. And I went, you're insane. And I said it, you're insane. You're insane. So what does he have you do? Well, I call him every day, and I tell him about how I'm feeling and about my story, and we talk through my story that I've been telling myself that's making me sick, and I go, really, that's great. You know what you do? You tell yourself a new story. Drop the story. You don't need a psychologist, a psychiatrist. And understand something, there is no such thing as depression. Depression is only when you've told the same story over and over again. The one where you were traumatized, but you told it over and over again. How many people know when you tell that story that traumatizes you and you tell it, you dump the same amount of chemicals that you dumped the time it happened the first time? So what happens is, if you tell that story 10 times, you live that trauma 10 times that day. Now think about the people in your family and everybody they see. Listen, you know what? I was told that when I was born that my head caved in, and it's amazing I'm even alive, and I was supposed to be mentally retarded, okay? So I exaggerate everything, and I try to make it humorous, but the reality is think about the story that you tell everyone. Think about that story that you tell to everybody, okay? Like the guys who go to the bar, and you know, the guy's, he's still limping from the goal he did when he was in college. Seriously? Amen. Why are you still living? Oh yeah, but I scored the goal. You know, the reality is this. I'm not into the victim thing anymore. You know, people will say, you know that I'm an empathic, and I go, oh God, please, I'm going to run. You know, basically, I take on everybody's suffering. Well, understand something. whether you want to believe this or not, I can tell you who you are and what your personality is just like this. And I'll tell you how you do it. As soon as you have unconditional love for someone and you don't judge them and you understand that everybody has beliefs, and the beliefs you have, you didn't pick them. So why would I be upset with you? If you don't like me or you do like me, it doesn't matter. If your beliefs don't match mine, you're not going to like me. I get it. That's how it works. You like people that their beliefs match you. If you're an alcoholic, you're looking for alcoholics. If you're a drug addict, you look for drug addicts. Okay? If you're a sex fiend, you look for a sex fiend. If you're a religious fanatic, who do you go for? Religious fanatics. Or you try to get them into becoming that. Yes or no? So the reality is this, we are our beliefs. And we don't even know what our beliefs are. How much enjoyment are you having? How are you? Do your beliefs make you feel totally free and happy all day long? Do you walk around and judge anybody by their color, by their hair, by the way they look, by the way they speak? Do you do any of that? Because if you do, you've got a problem. You've got a problem. Boo. Let me tell you something. You're all beautiful. You have to take a look at your personality. And you know what people usually do? What's it? You know this one, don't you? But this is my personality. No, it's not. Please don't tell me it is. It's not. You'll know when you have your personality because you're having the time of your life. There could be the biggest trauma happen in your family, and you're still going to have a slight smile, connected to your breath, shoulders back, and you're going to let everybody go crazy in chaos and cry and scream. You're going to be like an eagle. Spread your wings, go above the chaos, and then when everybody's exhausted and they make a mess, you're going to go, okay, so what do you want to do now? Because that's the way it's going to be. I know they're coming. They're coming again. And when they come, you'll see me when I come on here. I'll be as cool as a kid. This time, how much do you want to freak out? This time, how much do you want to hate? Just ask yourself when you go home tonight, what should I do with my life? How can I have the best life ever? If I loved myself, what would my life look like? What would I be doing? What would I be eating? What would I be drinking? Who would I be with? It's never too late to fall in love with yourself. But it's going to be very difficult. If you're with a partner that doesn't believe in this and it's hocus pocus, they will not let you get near it. They will not. They will trip you up any place they can. No, because why? Because they're programmed, right? Well, let me just help you. Let me refresh your memory. To death do us part. For richer or poor. Screw that. I'm not going to go poor. I want it all, baby. You go poor. To death do us part. For one thing, there is no death. The spirit will always live. I know that. Let me tell you something. Whether I live one day or I live another 50 years, it doesn't matter. It's how I live. It's how I live. Remember something. I say this on here. You can't be talking like this and BS. You're going to get your pants pulled down. Right? Oh, and I love this one. Here's the one I love. In sickness and in health. Really? I'm not going to marry anybody who wants to be sick. That's going to ruin my day. Lori, will you change my diaper and wipe my bum when I can't? Honey, please. Love will get us through. Sweetheart, just hold your nose and think about it. Who wrote that? They wrote that. They wrote that. You just said, see, they're after me. You just said that you would do anything for love. You would do anything for love, really. But I understand that you would, because guess what? You can't live without love. It's like oxygen. But guess what? That's why you're supposed to do self-serve and fill up your own heart so that you don't go around having tantrums with your loved ones because they didn't follow through. I'm not appreciated. I'm not appreciated. That's because you don't appreciate yourself. They don't have the time to love you that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do the follow-through. My God, you know as well as I do, you know, you met him, you met her, woo, fireworks, all that stuff, right? How long did it take before the fireworks calmed down for you? Come on, the last relationship, how long did it take?
The last relationship? It was too long ago.
Oh yeah, whatever. She was too long ago. She can't remember. Okay, all right. So just know that Alzheimer's is, okay, type 3 diabetes. That's all it is. Okay. Get off the sugar. Okay. Understand something. You know damn well that it was all fireworks. And understand, did you know that nobody can love you? All they're doing is feeling their energy that's triggering the love you have inside of you. So they're not there triggering the love you have inside of you. First of all, when they're with you, they're triggering that first while. They're really working on triggering the love that you have already inside of you. That's what you're feeling. He fills me up. No, he doesn't. He triggers the love that you have inside of you. And then guess what? He goes, okay, it's been a year of me doing that. Now I got to get back to work. Trigger yourself. That's all it is. And then guess what? You get all upset. Oh my God, he doesn't love me anymore. And we had to get some work done. She had to get some work done. And the reality is, guess what? Wouldn't it be great that you could actually say before you leave this planet that you unconditionally loved yourself? Do you know what kind of days you would have? How good a days you would have? You know what? You think I don't have things blowing up in my face all the time? I don't like telling the same story, but this year has been unbelievable, you know? God, I had the Canadian government spend $250,000 and take from Marketplace, which is a huge TV station there, to tell everyone that I steal people's money and kill people. And and they go, well, why don't you come in and defend yourself? Well, I'm not going to defend myself. What are you, crazy? Come in and you're going to tell a lie like that? And remember, when's the last time that somebody murdered 3 people and then they could go around shooting their mouth off and just go running around? Oh man, he killed 3 people, but he's going to still stay in business. The reality is this, guys. You know, you got to learn to stand up for yourself and don't care what other people think about you, and especially your family. Okay? If you're coming from your heart, remember something. Your family will be the first people to attack you when you go to try to change your beliefs and love yourself. That's my job. Yeah, well, shit, you haven't done it in 10 years. Are you with me? Not with me? Lost me? Don't believe me? All right, now we're going to change the topic. Because I just wanted to leave this with you, that you might want to try it out. You might want to try the love band. You might want to try the mirror work and saying the BraveHeart oath every morning 10 times. And 10 times before you go to bed. And every time you go to the bathroom, looking in the mirror and saying, I will love, respect, and protect you. And I am going to watch out for my subconscious because I know that I went to school when I was 5 years old. And all the way up to grade 12, I never learned anything except how to conform to the norm, which I never wanted to be. So I'm going to have to change parts of myself if I want a new life, if I want to be healthy, if I want to be wealthy on all levels. That's it. That's the only reason why I talk like that. Now, let's talk. Let's have questions. Let's go. Do you have a question?
No,
Gotcha. Okay, so who has a question about health? And it can be simply anything. Let's kick it off. There's got to be somebody brave enough. Come on up, sweetie. Yeah, you come up and sit beside me, would you? Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do for the rest of the night. So you have to understand something. You may not have liked what I just said. You may not have understood it. But understand, I tried to talk to you and give you the best gift that you could ever have. If you never want to hurt your family again, or yourself, it's unconditional love, which you don't even know what it is.
Oh, yes, I do.
Do you?
A lot.
Everybody says that. Everybody says it. I'll tell you something right now. Only 1 out of 10,000 achieve it, and that's the truth. And she could be one of them. But understand, everybody says they love themselves. Okay? Because guess what? Everybody has a definition of love that they have, and they think they've topped out on it. You can't top out on it. It's infinite. Go ahead, love.
Thank you for being here in Australia. This is a dream come true. My mum put me onto many years ago, and it has had a huge impact on my life, and to take responsibility for my health. A question I've got, something I've developed just this year, is eczema. And I wanted to ask you, what can I do? I think you may have spoken about it before.
Well, no, but we you know what? Repetition is how we learn, right? Whether I spoke about it before. And when even if somebody spoke about something before, you want them to keep repeating it. Do you know how they got us to put the diaper on our face for 3 years? Because they kept repeating something. Now, what if you repeated something as much as they repeated it? You'd change your life. So repetition's the key. You're not, you should be able to ask the same question over and over again because you're trying to crack the coconut. You're trying to move forward. That's why we need to be very patient and compassionate with each other. There's nobody in here that could upset me. Ever. Eczema is fungus. And all eczema, on an emotional level, is what gets under your skin. But the reality is, on a physical level, all eczema comes from the large intestine. When's the last time you did antibiotics?
A few years ago.
Yeah, okay, and how often have you done them?
A few times in my life.
That's right, and all you need to do them is once. So, can we talk openly without me being nasty?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do you see the puffiness here on her face? You see all this? Okay? All right. So, we know that she retains water. We know that she has bowel problems. Okay? That's where the puffiness comes. The reason why people are puffy is they have to retain the water to dilute the poisons and to bring down the acidity. And if they don't retain the water, they wouldn't be here anymore. And understand, the only reason why people are putting on so much weight, okay, fat, it's fat, okay? The reason why people put on fat is because they have to. If you didn't put on fat, you would be dead already of heart disease or cancer. So just know that. And the reason why is because fat stores inflammation and toxins. So the more fat you have, the more toxic you are on an emotional and physical level. So Daryl, are you trying to tell me that the bigger somebody is, the more toxic they are on an emotional and physical level? Yes, I am. And what are you saying, Daryl? Are you saying that they're emotionally unstable? No, I'm saying that they've been sexually, emotionally, and physically abused in their life. And they've never been, and what happened is the victim part of them got fed, not the hero part. Okay? And the reality is that they're running a program of self-loathing and unworthiness. Now, with the fungal thing, just remember something. Fungus is a parasite, just like worms, okay, are. So fungus, when you get, here's what happens, so just so you know. So, do you eat meat?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell. Do you see your face? You eat a lot of it. So the reality is you don't digest it well. What blood type are you?
Oh.
Okay. All right. Well, you have a real problem with digesting, and you eat way too many dead animals. So how many dead animals do you think it'll take for you to get alive? Okay, now I'm going to ask her another question, and I'm not trying to say don't eat animals. I'm just trying to make you think. Now, the reality is how many of those animals that you eat are free range and organic?
They're organic. Recently.
Recently. That's right. Okay, who is that? You lucky winner. Well, you'll get your gift later. Okay, so, I like scaring people. Okay, so the reality is that if that was recently, are you still drinking milk and eating cheese and yogurt?
Cheese, yes. No yogurt, no milk.
Okay, now the cheese is not organic.
No.
Okay, so just know this. Every time that you take in an animal product or an animal, a byproduct of an animal, which is like yogurt, milk, or cheese, right? And what is cheese?
What sort of cheese?
What is cheese?
Oh, it's dairy from an animal.
It's a concentrated milk. Okay, so let's talk about some things here, okay? First of all, let me just say this, that most elderly people are dying because their alveoli, which is in their lungs, is drowning of mucus. And that's just because of infection creating inflammation, and that's going to happen to you. So now I'm going to explain why. No, but it is. But, you know, it's been nice knowing you. Okay, so the reality is that if something isn't free range and organic, how many people know that 80% of all antibiotics go into animals, livestock that people eat? So the reality is anytime that you do an animal product or animal byproduct, you're actually taking in antibiotics. You eat animal products every day. And the reality is, when you do, did you know that if you eat an animal product every day, whether it's yogurt or it's cheese or it's milk or it's meat or it's even farm fish? How many people know that all farm fish have parasites? Okay, so we know that the 80% of all antibiotics go into the animals we eat for a reason, and the byproducts, and that is to actually destroy you. Okay, it's not, because see, antibiotics should only be used in life-threatening situations. You do get that, right? Because they could save a life if it was life-threatening, a critical, acute situation. Did you know that all chronic situations should never have antibiotics? Did you get that? And how many people know that 99% of the time that they give antibiotics is for a chronic situation? I'm willing to be challenged at any time here, guys, you know, okay? So now, the reality is you could have did the antibiotics years ago, but the reality is your diet's not that great, okay? And it's not, okay? It's not.
I agree.
Do you drink alcohol?
Occasionally.
Yeah, I bet. Okay. I can see it. Okay, that occasionally is enough that I can see it. So the reality is we all know that alcohol is pure what? Sugar. Sugar, it's pure sugar. So understand that. It's pure sugar. So now if you've got fungus and you take in pure sugar, what do you think that does to the fungus? It blows it up. So somebody who has fungus, if they take in just, let's say, 1 teaspoon of sugar, did you know what it really is? If you have fungus, it's 20 teaspoons. It does the same effect. So basically, you're rotting inside out. And you've got mold. So did you ever see mold grow on food going bad? Mm-hmm. Your body's going bad. And this is because of bowel problems, okay? You've had bowel problems most of your life. Yeah, okay?
That's true.
Yeah, I know. I went to the bathroom after you did tonight. It's not good. I'm kidding. I didn't. Thank God. Okay. So let's know this right off the bat. So this is the truth. Here it is. Everything in life is based on frequency and vibration. Do you get that? That we are vibrational frequency beings. And that, guess what? When you smile, you bring your frequency up. When you frown, you bring your frequency down. And I can tell you, I can tell the miserable people in this room, okay? And you're so, let me see. You put so much into it that even when I say smile, you don't want to smile. It's amazing. And you know, it's like, bugger off, you prick. I put so much into this. I'm not going to be smiling. You know how much work I do with being miserable? Yes?
I was just going to say, now that you've got problems, and you look at the history, you said you've done this before, you've had antibiotics before. Going forward, can we fix the problem?
Oh, God.
When is it too late?
No, it's never too late. And here's the deal. It's never too late. But I will tell her exactly what to do, but she's not going to do it. Okay, now I'll tell you why. Okay? Because it's going to be very hard for her to give up her addictions, and she's got other ones. Okay? All right? Now.
1%, one a day.
That's right. Listen, I am not telling you that this can't be done. But then, I don't know, who do you live with?
With my children.
Okay. All right. And do your children eat like you?
A bit healthier, a lot healthier.
Okay, well, then there's more than hope. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so now we know that you've been poisoning your children. You should go to jail. Okay, now, so here's the deal, and you got to get this. Everybody in this room has a bowel problem. Everybody in this room has a bowel problem, and you better get it, because guess what? The whole system is based on bringing down your large intestine. Even though your heart is talked about more, your liver's talked about, other organs are talked, your large intestine is the holy grail of your immune system. If you were to do daily cleansing tea, black gold, and you also, you don't drink any water. You don't drink any water at all. She just peed on my hands. So the reality is feel her hands if you want. Come and you'll feel it. She's sticky and it's wet. And then it's also cold and clammy. So the cold is that she runs a fear program all the time. The clammy is actually she doesn't drink enough water and her adrenals are firing. And her adrenals are sitting on top of her kidneys and they're frying out her kidneys. All right?
Thank you, yes.
Okay, first of all, you can say that, and she needs friends right now. But the reality is that's not true. She's not nervous because she gets like this all the time. And understand this, she is very unsure of herself. She's unsure of herself. She doesn't trust herself. Yes or no?
I try to trust myself.
There. I try to trust myself. And guess what? You can be totally trusting of yourself, but you got to have to love and care for yourself. And you've got to stop. She looks for approval. You can't look for approval anymore. You can't take things personal. She takes them personal. You cannot do that. Okay, here we go. So, when you take antibiotics, here's 0 and here's 100. So this is the highest vibration you can take. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 0. Where do you think antibiotics are? They're underneath 0. Did you know that? Their vibration is below 0. That's why when you do an antibiotic, yes, it'll go in like an atomic bomb. It'll destroy good bacteria, but it'll also destroy good and bad bacteria, right? It'll destroy the bad, but it'll destroy the good. But here's the worst thing it does. You ready? Because antibiotics have a vibration below 0, that vibration's not supposed to come until you're dying or dead. Why? Well, don't you know that eczema is a fungal problem? Okay, so did you ever see a tree that is dying or a tree that fell down? It's got holes in it, okay, because it's drill bit predators now are causing holes. When you actually take antibiotics, you've got yeast in your large intestine, it turns into fungus. When it turns into fungus, some people would call it candidiasis. What candidiasis does, when you have it long enough and strong enough, it is actually not supposed to be turned on to a great extent until you're dying, because, you know, you're supposed to be returned to the soil. So that's why people have leaky gut, is through antibiotics. It's the main cause, okay? Sugar does not cause leaky gut. And it's not leaky gut, it's leaky large intestine. There's no such thing as leaky gut. It's leaky large intestine. Well, we'll talk about the gut. We're going to talk here a few minutes. I'm going to give her what she needs, and if she wants to follow through. So now what happens is, these drill bit predators are now drilling holes in her large intestine, so now she's pooping into her system. And this is, the pelvic girdle is like, for everyone, we all have a pelvic girdle, but that's why you can't have cysts without pooping into your pelvis. You can't have infertility, 98% of it, unless you've been pooping into your pelvis. You can't have endometriosis, you can't have a fibroid, you can't have thickening of the uterus, you can't have vaginitis. Are you with me yet? You can't have bladder problems, you can't have a swollen prostate. This is all pooping into your pelvis. And the large intestine, the transverse colon, if it falls down, it puts pressure on it as well. Let me tell you something. How many people here know somebody that has halitosis, otherwise bad breath? Everybody that has halitosis or bad breath is full of worms. But actually, 99% of the population has worms. Okay? So do you know what dark circles mean? Dark circles mean that you've been backing up your large intestine long enough that your blood is so dirty because your liver's now clogged. Bags under your eyes mean that you have kidney problems. Okay? Are you with me? Okay. Now, nobody should have smelly armpits and nobody should have bad breath. Bad breath is actually caused because you have your own manure pile and it's rotting in your pelvis. So, look at, you ever go to a farm? You ever turn over the manure? You see the gas come off? Well, the gases rise. Why do you think you roll over and you go, "Good morning, honey," and you go to kiss her, and she goes, "Oh my God, please, 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 go brush your teeth. Somebody just crapped in your mouth." And that's because the poop particles are floating up. Hot air rises. And that's what you have. Does everybody know that gum disease is bum disease? Does everybody know that the plaque in your mouth on your teeth is actually poop particles? It's not something you ate today. It's something you ate a long time ago. And dentists don't even tell you that, do they? Yeah. Eat a whole plant-based diet and then tell me that you have a plaque problem. Tell me that you have gum disease. Okay, and the reality is that one of the best ways, even before having a whole plant-based diet, is drinking water. She hardly ever does it. If she were to drink 2 quarts of warm to hot water first thing in the morning and another 2 quarts before 4 o'clock, that would be a gallon. She'd drop weight like crazy. You'd see her face change. But she doesn't drink enough water. What do you drink throughout the day?
Water, but not enough, obviously.
What else do you drink?
Chamomile tea with honey and lemon and ginger. I take a thermos to work. 1 coffee every morning. And
That's okay.
turmeric almond latte.
Okay, but she hardly drinks any water, so just know that. She pretends. She carries a bottle around with her probably all day. You know, people go, "I drink water." See, I'm drinking. That's what people do. It's true. They don't drink water, they carry it. Okay, and then they go and they buy, they don't drink a lot of water because they got to go and buy it, and it costs money. And the reality is most people are buying it out of a plastic bottle, which is made out of petroleum. And then when you drink it, you can taste the plastic. You just took carcinogenic poison into you in a high concentration. And what moron would buy plastic bottled water? Seriously. Oh, like most of the world. Okay, but wait, we got to recycle it. It's pretty ridiculous. So the reality is this: if you've never heard of it, take a look at a structured water unit on my website, because that's the best way to go, the cheapest way to go. A lot of people will say, "I'm going to drink distilled water," but just remember, all the water that you take in needs to be structured. Do you know how much energy that takes? So water has 2,500 to 3,000 layers, okay, in a droplet. Do you know that's what it's meant? 2,500 to 3,000 layers. And what happens is, just to prove your point, prove my point, it's not yours yet, just to prove my point, so when it rains now, you know, we had acid rain before, now we got little Billy throwing his chemicals into the sky, right? So now we've got that plus the acid rain, and the water's coming down. Well, guess what? It should be killing the birds, the bees, the flowers, the trees, and us, but it's not. Why? Because it's structured. So it doesn't matter what the poison is. Did you know that? Or the chemical. Do you know why they're making it illegal in the United States that you cannot collect rainwater? Because if you drink rainwater, it doesn't matter that you didn't filter it. It can't hurt you. Structured water has a vibration in it that even if there's heavy metals and chemicals in it, I know most of you are going, BS, that's BS. No, it's science. It's true. That's how much you know. The invisible creates the physical. And we are energy medicine beings. And I tell you something right now, you can believe it or not believe it. We don't buy bottled water, and Lori and I travel around the world with our structure unit. We put it under any tap, whether we're in China, anywhere. Mexico, we drink the tap water. And it comes right through the structure unit. There's no filter. Yeah, let me tell you something. Let's sell you stuff that we can keep reselling and reselling. You get a structure unit from us, you've got a 90-day money-back guarantee that'll change your life. You collect rainwater, I'm telling you. And then if you still want to filter it, go right ahead. But understand something. Spring water, okay, fast-moving rivers, okay, waterfalls, rainwater, and then if you have a structure unit, you structure your water. That structured water, what it does is this. If you were to just go, oh, I drink Fiji water. Oh, isn't that so nice? Well, it's not structured, and you just got ripped off, okay? Everything is a scam. Now, when you structure water, you create a frequency in the water. Okay, I want you to put structured water on the floor, then I want you to put spring, then I want you to put distilled, reversed osmosis, and the best bottled water you can find, and your cat or dog will walk in and go straight to the structured water. He won't touch the rest. So don't believe me. And also, if a mosquito goes on structured water, it'll drown because there's no surface tension. We want all the surface tension gone so it goes deep within the cells. And when you structure water, you get rid of the memory of the people that drank it. Because people that are angry, people that are sick, it picks up the memory. You want to structure all your water. You don't want the memory of other people drinking it. Okay, so you need to get that. You can actually go and filter your water, get rid of the poisons in the water, get rid of the heavy metals in the water, and if it's not structured, you still have the frequency of all of it still in there. Water will go from the toilet to the tap 17 times on average before it goes into the sky to be structured. Or you can just get a structure unit and structure it. Believe it or not, you can pour the tap water, pour the water into the bathtub, and you can put the baby in the bathtub, and all you got to do is put 1 cup of structured water in the bathtub. The whole thing is structured. You put 1 bucket into your pool, you just structured your whole pool, and I don't care if you use chlorine, you can swim under there and your eyes won't burn. Do I need to keep going? How about this one? You get a structured water unit and you pour your wine through there. You can drink as much wine as you want and you will have no hangover, but you'll catch a buzz twice as fast because now it's structured, and you won't have a hangover in the morning because you can't poison yourself because you changed the frequency. So whether it's wine, beer, liquor, I'm not telling you to drink more. I'm trying to tell you that if you want, you can, because most of you who drink wine, you don't think about buying organic, so don't tell me you do. You go and you buy wine, and wine has 135 chemicals in it, toxic chemicals. Toxic chemicals. Oh, I drink the wine because there's antioxidants. Oh my God, please, really. God help us. We are the most intelligent species in the universe. Okay. So understand, if you're going to drink, you just need to even do 3 ounces and put the 3 ounces into the wine. It'll structure the whole thing. You need to take like structured water and spray it on your salad or spray it on any food. When you go to a restaurant, you structure it. Now you can believe it or don't believe it, but it's real science. So if you were to drink enough water, drink structured water, and if you were to get on a whole plant-based diet and really start doing it, because you don't eat a lot of fresh and raw. Eat a lot of bread?
Trying not to.
Okay, so I want you to understand something about everybody. She has a really bad diet, and she does. I'm humiliated being up here. I just don't even know why I'm here.
Just a little bit.
So understand something. Her diet is her diet is better than some, but it's never going to be good enough to heal her. So you have to understand, and this is where I'm going to come back to you. Unless she were to unconditionally love herself, she'll never be able to hold the line. Because guess what? What happens is you can put massive personal action into something, but guess what? It will never last unless there's love backing it. It's BS. I don't care if you start the gym, because remember something, my stuff is not a diet, it's a live it. I don't have anything that... When we teach you something, it's you need to do this. So when you do the Perfect Day diet, Lori and I will swing. We'll swing off the diet only by 10%. And that's why we will change the world, because we will have enough energy. Remember something. There's two things that people are looking up the most right now. Pain and energy. The two things they look up the most. And guess what? There's two things that the elite want. They want you in pain, and they want to take your energy. Because if your energy's gone, you can't put up a fight. If your energy's gone, you can't think straight. When you can't think straight, they own you. Go ahead. Every time you eat bread, you're dead. Bread's dead. Okay? And it jams you up. Her bowels are so messed up. And that's why the fungus grows. You know what? She's putrefying. Just know this, everyone. There's only one illness. We can talk about one symptom. That's the one main symptom is inflammation. Inflame. That means that you are on fire. That's why, guess what? Anybody here that's around my age is stiff. They've got arthritis. Okay. They've got cirrhosis. I can give you a million different things, and I've got nothing. Nothing going on. Nothing, not one symptom. Because guess what? It's how much scar tissue you have. Okay, inflammation, inflame. If I put a burger, are you made out of meat? Yes. Okay? If I put a burger on the barbecue and I turn it on low burn, what happens to the burger after 2 hours, 3 hours, if I forget it? It shrivels. It's like beef jerky. Here, let me get this. Pass this around. Chew on it if you like. Okay? Because this is what you're becoming. That is what you're becoming. Just know that. Okay? Grandpa, are you okay? Here you go, sweetheart. This is probably better than what you ate today, so chew on it. No, I'm kidding. So that is, okay, I need you to look at this, and I want you to pass it around, because I want you to understand something. You see that beef jerky? You see how that's not even 1/4 of an inch? Well, that used to be 3/4 of an inch. So we dehydrated it. So guess what? Are you ready for this, if you don't believe me? Okay, how many of you lost 1 or 2 inches in your height? Oh, you're the same height as you were when you were younger? Okay. Go measure yourself. Most people have lost 1 to 2 inches by the time they're 50 years old. I already know that, so we just have a whole different group. Australians are different. Okay, so the reality is this. Can you tell me why you lose your height? Why? Tell me why. You go to your doctor, you know what he says? You've lost bone calcium. Don't they say that? Oh, what happened? Did your head shrink? Help me out. As soon as you see somebody with a white coat, they can give you the biggest BS in the world, and you'll just not even question it. And then I'll walk in as the quack natural doctor. Don't trust him, he's after you. Okay? So the reality is this, just so you know, people lose their height because you have discs in between your vertebrae. And because you were pooping in your pelvis, you got it into your bloodstream. Okay, where is most of the surgical operations done on the spine? L3, L4, L5. L3, L4, and L5 are right here. Oh my God. Here's my transverse colon. And it's falling down. Now we got Death Valley. Okay, and we're absorbing the waste in here. That creates the infection, that creates the inflammation. And you know as well as I do, when you have inflammation and flame, you've got dehydration. So now you've got beef jerky in here. So now they say you've got stenosis and we've got to operate, right? And because we can't see the nerves are dead. Did you know the nerves never die? Did you know they cut you for no reason? That the scar tissue and the calcium, because what happened was, now you've got scar tissue coming around the nerves to try to protect them so they're not damaged. And remember something, the discs thin out, you still have the same amount of fiber, but you dehydrated it. Do you ever get prunes and dehydrate them? Do they look smaller? What about grapes to raisins? That's what's happening to you. Grandpa, you don't get one fine, I don't feel a thing. You know what? And this is because arthritis is beef jerky. Tumors, beef jerky. Endometriosis. You give me any illness and it's scar tissue, displaced calcium, and crystallization. That's all it is. And if you melt the crystallization, okay, I'm going to prove it here tonight. We'll get somebody here with a neck problem. I think, where's the gentleman? Where is he that has yeah, okay. You need to smile more, okay? You got to smile more if I'm going to work on you, okay? Huh?
Make me small.
You see? Did you see? Piss off. I don't like my life. You give me a reason to smile. And understand, guess where he's going? He's in crash. Because guess what? He needs to go up. He needs to become an eagle, not a turkey. Because a turkey loses his head. You got to learn how to fly. No matter what the odds are against you. You need to change your story right now. You don't want to do it? Fine. Okay? You're going down. Look at the dark circles under your eyes. Okay? All right? Those dark circles are because you've been backing up your bowels. And because what? Because you're not letting go of something in your life. I don't know what the anger is, but it's backed up right into your liver, buddy. And the anger that you got, it's choking you up. So you better watch it because you took the bitter pill. And trust me, I know what I'm talking about. You come to my course, you'll know. By the third day, everybody gets their coconut cracked. You can ask her when she comes back, doesn't matter how many people are in that course, by the third day, every one of them, they never go back to that again. They will never go back. They will only go forward because they were programmed to off themselves. And I don't care. You know, it's very rare. People will come and go, you don't know what you're talking about. I love myself already. And I go, yeah. Compared to what? Compared to what? I've been doing this. My first whole life coach course was when I was 28 years old. You do know that was how long ago? 39 years ago. And I pull off about 12 of these a year. And I give a money-back guarantee that the first day, if you're not blown away, take your money. Understand that. I am the thunder. You stand in your power. You find your gift, you find your passion, and you stand in your power, and you let people know that you're good at that because people want what you're good at. Do you understand? Oh, I'm shy. Really? No. Get out there, live your life. Live your life. I don't know what pissed off has got anybody. Okay? You got to be able to give it up that fast. You just don't let poisonous people back into your life. You just don't keep repeating the stuff. That's it. Okay, here we go. So, tell me what you ate. And don't Don't lie. And everybody lies because nobody wants to look bad. I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to do it. But she'll lie if I don't tell her not to.
I think you can tell if someone lies.
I can. I just don't want to have to go into it. And then everybody's going to go, he's so cruel. Why didn't he leave her alone? Poor girl.
I'm doing the course.
You are?
Yeah.
Are you signed up?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'm coming to consult.
Okay, then guess what? Give everybody your phone number and then let them know. All you need to do is take a look at her when she comes back. And you're going to know it. Let me tell you something. It's not because I'm good, it's because she's great. And all I'm going to do is we're going to go for a walk and get an understanding of her greatness. And she's just going to go, I don't need to thank you for anything, Daryl. It was always in here. So here's the deal. So if I was in her situation, I would be on the Perfect Day diet. So what I'd be doing is, first of all, just know this, everyone. You may not like it, but, you know, it's called the Chinese cure. If you really didn't have any money, which everybody says they don't, they never have any money, never have any time until they're dying. Or somebody else is dying in the family and they've got lots of time and lots of money to help them, but they can't help themselves. Did anybody notice that lately? You've all been programmed off yourself. And you've all been programmed to tell yourself that, you know, this is as good as it gets. I've already made it. Let me tell you something. I'm only getting started. You watch my videos and tell me that I don't change every few months. Go ahead. So don't tell me that you love yourself. Because it's infinite. You can't go deep enough. You can't love yourself enough. You can't do it. You've got to keep doing it more and more every day. 1% every day, every day, every day. It's infinite. Okay. So you're going to get up in the morning. So when she gets up in the morning, the first thing that she's going to do is, before she even opens her eyes, okay, she's going to connect to her breath and start breathing. She's going to breathe in 6 seconds and 7 seconds out. And first thing she's going to do is put a slight smile on her face. Because guess what? We don't want to be like some of you and go, I woke up. What's wrong with you? I don't know. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Okay, that's what we say, right? What a bunch of crap. You know, it wasn't. It was just that it was, oh, look at it's Tuesday. And every Tuesday, okay, I have to have a fit. You don't believe me? I want all of you to get a calendar and start calendar tracking for the next month. I want you to calendar track when you're happy, when you're sad. I want you to calendar track when you have your little tantrum, and then how long it lasts. And then I want you to do it the following month, and you go, oh, geez, they look the same. So the reality is, remember what I was telling you about your subconscious? Here's the deal. You got to get this. So the subconscious mind, okay, is the most powerful thing that you could ever do or have. But the reality is the subconscious mind, remember something, your brain is just a computer, right? And it's a chemist. So your brain is just a computer, and guess what? Who put the programs in for the first few years? Mommy and Daddy, they were adulterated. Tell me they weren't messed up. Holy shit. Now, the reality is, then you went off to school, and your teachers, they sucked. Because you can't be a teacher and not suck. For a public school, you have to suck. The reality is, if you try to go on your own and go rogue, you'll lose your job. Yes or no? Come on, please, don't pretend. Yeah, but I was really nice to them, even though I was brainwashing them. Yeah, that's really good. I'm glad you did that.
I am a teacher.
Yeah, well. Whoa. Start the car.
But I say no a lot to my bosses.
Okay.
I'm a renegade teacher.
Let's put it this way. I would never send my kids to school unless the teacher, what their main belief was unconditional love for themselves. And they only believed in vibration and frequency. I would never let my kids go near that person. And honestly, and you're not going to like me, but I wouldn't want my kids coming to school with you because you do not treat yourself well. You don't, and you know that. You love people, you would do anything for people, but you don't take care of yourself, and you don't love yourself. I would want my kids only to be around that. I'm awake now, and that's what I'm going to teach. That's what I'm going to teach everyone. Listen, people that do not have unconditional love for themselves should not be near children. Because we don't want to teach kids to have conditional love. Okay, do you know how many drug addicts are in this place, in this room, that are on medication? They're not going to tell you this. You know how many people here can't wait to get home to have their glass of wine because they need to get away from me? Listen to me, I'm telling you, this is the truth. Look you're going to find out when we're done. We'll do a video, me and you, and then you guys can watch it, and she's going to tell you that, you know what, you're absolutely right. You don't know what you don't know until you know. And that's it. So I'm not going to argue with anyone. You come and take my course, okay? And then you tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. You don't have a clue. You don't have a clue what you're talking about. You've been programmed all your life and it's not your fault. You don't have a clue. Let me tell you something. You wouldn't be here tonight if you knew. You'd be flying like an eagle. You'd be doing what I'm doing. And I am no better than anybody on this planet. I know one thing. I've tried everything else. If you don't have unconditional love for yourself, that's the only reason why you came here tonight. Whether you're scared that you want to do it, okay? Because guess what? As soon as you do it, you're going to be in trouble with your family and your friends. And you're going to be called selfish. Anyway, so get up in the morning. And if you could do belly button therapy, because guess what? When you do belly button therapy, you unleash more dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins than anything else. That's the first thing. And she's going to do belly button therapy, hold a slight smile on her face, and she's going to connect to her breath. She's not going to just jump out of bed. So set the clock maybe 15 minutes prior, and then visualize your day going the way you would like to see it. And you know how you're going to visualize it? No matter what goes on in your day, you will not lose your stuff. You will smile, you will connect to your breath. If there's a bump in the road, you're going to slow down and breathe and go, what do I need to learn? If there's a quick right-hand turn, even though you said you were going to go straight, you're going to make the turn with love, because guess what? That's what created the universe, knows better. And understand something. Just like when I go to bed at night, I go, this is what I'd like to see. But Creator, guess what? Bring me something better. And understand something, everybody. I am totally grateful for everything I have, but I am going to demand more from myself and from the planet. Every time, every day, every second, because there is more. You should be grateful what you have, Daryl. No, I won't. I'm not going to be like that. Okay, I'm not going to do with less. You do with less. And I didn't take your stuff either, because there's enough for everybody. Oh, look at him. He thinks he's so smart. He probably stole it from someone. You know, the reality is that get out of your little box. Okay? There is unlimited everything. Unlimited everything. You watch. I don't care what they do in the next few years. It's not going to really matter. Look what Lori and I did. We traveled. We did everything. We thought outside the box. We opened up. During COVID, we opened up. How big? Well, we filled up a place that had 220 rooms. That's what we did. And then we opened it up, ran it for a year and 3/4 and said, guess what? And then somebody gave us an offer for Puerto Rico to open up a university and to do all this stuff. And to actually, did you know that we can take all your people and they'll never pay more than 4% tax again legally, blah, blah, blah. I went there, blah, blah, blah. And we've had meetings with the agriculture, the finance minister. We've had meetings with all of them. They want us in Puerto Rico. That's why we're going. Listen to me. Think big. Dream big. Your imagination creates everything. Okay? If you've got nothing, you've got no imagination. If your life sucks, then your imagination sucks. Because guess what? Image, imagination. Image creates thought. What does thought create? Emotion. Emotion. Your image of your life is making you not want to smile. He changes his image. He brings his pH up. He brings the light back into himself. What do you think is going to happen? So if he has a good image about his life and himself, he's going to have a good thought. If he has a good thought, he's going to have what? A good emotion. Emotion, energy in motion. He's going to have a good frequency. If he has a good frequency, now he's going to dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, and not adrenaline and histamine like you've been doing, and cortisol. You're kicking the living crap out of yourself. Oh, you have strength, but you have so much bitterness and anger. You're going to just boom. You know, if the door gets locked, we'll just get you to run through it. That's the truth.
The belly button, what's that process in the morning?
The belly button therapy? Well, they've got them back there.
Okay.
And if you don't want to buy one, maybe you can make one. But the reality is that the belly button, right? What was that? The umbilical cord? And guess what? That's hooked right into the vagus nerve. It's called the wandering nerve, which is the longest nerve in the body. And when you trigger your belly button, guess what you do? No, you dump more dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins than anything else. Any other thing. No drug does it more. No feeling does it more. You'll have a 20 to 25% extra stretch in your body just by doing that. Okay, when you do this, okay, and you do this and you don't do it aggressively, and you bring your temperature up 1%, it'll kill every infection. You bring it up 2%, it'll knock cancer out. It'll bring inflammation down because of, remember something, all of these hormones move at the speed of light. Because they are light. So you can dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, called the dose, or you can dump HAC, which is histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, and you can eat up your body and create an acid pH and just get a disease. And understand something, everybody has different diseases here, right? Because you're not at ease with yourself. And that's because you have this belief, and you have this belief, and you have this belief. They come together for a key belief called diabetes. You have this belief, this belief, this belief, and that's called cancer. You have this belief, this belief, this belief, and that's called healing. So whatever listen, you got what you got. Okay? She's got eczema. Okay, we know antibiotics will cause that, but other people have had antibiotics. But guess what? Where's their eczema? Okay? Because guess what? She vibrates really low on how much she loves herself. So she's actually moldy. She's got to bring her vibration up. She's got to drink more water. She's got to eat more live foods. She doesn't eat a lot of live foods. Ask her. I eat salad. That's what they do. Oh, that's good. But I'm talking about weight volume. Whole grains, not processed grains. Okay. I'm talking about fruit. I'm talking about vegetables. I'm talking about lentils. I'm talking about beans. I'm talking about avocado. I'm talking about coconut. I'm talking about this kind of stuff. And understand something. The only reason why you guys eat 3 meals and have 3 snacks is because you're garbage cans. You've been programmed to be that. Well, what do you think the food industry wants? They just want you to eat yourself to death. I don't eat more than 1 meal a day. And guess what? I never had lunch. I never had supper. But I'm going to go home. And Roz went and bought us some juice. So I've got a thing of juice. I'm going to have a thing of juice, and that's it. I'm going to go to bed. But I'm going to go to bed content. I don't care. Why don't you go eat as much as you can, and then I'll eat nothing, and then I'll kick your ass all around the block because I'm in love with myself. And I'm in love with myself, and I'll never put myself on the hook, and I'll never call myself a sinner, and I'll never call myself a loser, and I'll never call myself a failure. I will learn and I will not burn. You can go to hell, but I will never go to hell, and I'll never put myself there. You can't put me there. You can't make me feel guilty that I'll ever go there. Did you get that? So you might as well you just wasted your time, so back off. So yes, my beliefs don't match yours, but I don't really care. I don't need your approval to love myself. I'm not going to take it personal if you don't, and if you don't like me. The reality is I know what this game is all about. They want you down. Okay, whether you believe it or not, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, all of these families, they're serving an evil entity. That entity will live here for eternity, and they will hold the keys to the finances and the military and the power, but you're supposed to rise above that. Instead of being one of the turkeys in the field when the lightning goes and having a fart attack, you're supposed to become an eagle and spread your wings and go above it. That's it. Don't ever get involved in the bullshit that everybody talks about. Leave it alone. All your complaining and all your explaining never changed anything. Did you hear? Did you hear? Don't care. Stick it up your rear. I mean it. I'm done. I'm over it. Lori and I, all we look at is our goals, our imagination, our dreams, our passion, nothing else. I am not buying into your suffering, don't care. You want to suffer, go ahead and suffer. You want to get out of it, I'll help you. I'll be there for you in a second. I'll pick up the phone, I'll tell you exactly what we can do. Okay? You want to get stroked, go to someone else. You want to get poisoned, go to someone else. You want to have somebody tell you that it's genetic when it's not, go to someone else. Because every disease is epigenetic, every disease. There's not one. God, Dr. Wolf, yes, my name is Jim, and just know this, okay? I have a chromosome problem, and only 1 out of every 50 million people have it. I don't know what to do. Well, first of all, cut the crap. So understand, I'm not going to tell you that the chromosome he has isn't a little messed up. But guess what? It's your attitude. It's your personality. How do you feel? How do you drink? How do you eat? How do you think? How do you react to things? How about stop? What are you going to say?
I need to take massive personal action with what I eat and what I think.
We are going to work. We are going to be working. Okay, so what we have is a really beautiful little soul, and something happened to her a long time ago, and she locked away her feminine, beautiful power. You wait till you see what she's got to offer to herself. This is not about me. Okay? This is about me helping her go in and find the most beautiful relationship that she'll ever have. And she has never had beautiful relationships since she lost herself. Come on, tell me I'm wrong. I want to hear it.
No, you're right, and it's really sad to hear that. I guess secondhand.
Yeah, I know, but see, I'm not going to let her bullshit me. She could have said, you're wrong, and I'll go, yeah, we'll find out in the course.
Life is too short to lie. You have to
Yeah,
be honest with
and guess
yourself.
what? And guess what? I'm not putting her down. I'm trying to tell her that it's this way. Every one of you, guess what? Everybody goes, this is my personality. This was my destiny. That's BS. Your destiny is to go in and uncover and discover your authentic self after they royally screwed you. And you were supposed to rise up like the phoenix out of the ashes and find yourself. That's it. That's the game down here. You can't do that. You missed the boat. You're just going to come back and do it again. Because understand something. We are eternal, but do you think you get to move on to the next level? Do you think... How many people here believe that they rocked unconditional love? okay, that they feel that their vibration is so high, okay, like that which we call Jesus, Krishna, okay, they rocked it. They were teaching unconditional love. Jesus got murdered for teaching unconditional love. And I know you're going to get pissed off, but that's okay. I want to end it in a good piss-off situation. And that is this, is that Jesus did not die for my sins. Jesus died trying to teach unconditional love. There was no Christianity until way after him. Jesus was a yogi that could levitate. His energy was so high. Why do you think Jesus would do a 40-day fast? Because he needed to lose weight from Krispy Kreme? Did a 40-day fast to bring up his vibration because he knew that if he brought it up high enough, he could blow through, because there is an invisible barrier that traps all spirits on this planet until you can vibrate high enough to get off. Because we're slaves down here. Oh, I shouldn't be saying all this because now it's like, what a crackpot he is. Doesn't really matter because guess what? I make enough money already. If I didn't think I was abundant, do you think I'd be giving my stuff away all the time? Building libraries? I'm building a $150,000 app right now that's going to be free. You don't get like this because you're limited. So I'm trying to tell you something. I'm just an average guy that was sexually abused, that was beat up too, that lied, that cheated, that stole, that did it all. We're all the same. We're not any different. I just decided I'm not listening to it anymore. I'm not being scared. I'm not being fearful. Okay? I know that which created the universe doesn't love me. It's way beyond love. I don't know what it is because I don't know anything about it. But I know this, that I exist, and I am going to make that proud, whatever that is, because I don't know anything. But I do know that if I can stay in the present moment with a slight smile on my face and give courage to everyone and leave smiles everywhere I go, I'm doing it. Just know every time that you get scared and you get fearful, you hurt people, especially yourself.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're brave. You're very brave. Next. Come here. Come on. Just understand something. When I tell you that you haven't even started to work on your potential, I'm not picking on you. Please don't tell me that you love yourself. Tell me that you're learning to, and I'll believe you. Because I'm only learning to.
I've actually been following you for a couple of years. I stumbled across you, I don't know how I did, but I did. And I've just been following you for ages. So when I heard you were coming to Australia, I've been keeping asking when you come in and when you're doing your courses and things like that. So anyway, I'm pretty excited to kind of meet you and be here.
So are you really nervous?
I am very nervous.
You hear the clicking in her mouth? She's dumping adrenaline right now. That clicking in her mouth, so that's the adrenaline. So now what you need to do is connect to your breath. Just connect to your breath and relax. And you know, if I can set you at ease and make you feel like I'm just like everybody else, I will fart.
Just like fart.
Yes, I would. If it's going to make you better. See, you have to understand something. There's no difference between me and you. It's just that I decided this. You know, I really have to thank my father. He was a born-again Christian pastor. And he told me that we could have everything, and I never got anything. He told me I was always going to go to hell. And I kept saying, well, how do I not go to hell? And he goes, he never knew. He just knew that, you know, we were all going to go to hell. I was born a sinner. And so all of those teachings really helped me to just blow it all off. God, none of it made any sense, you know, right? None of it made any sense. So the reality was, what the heck? If I'm going to go to hell, I might as well love myself. Might as well have a good time. And the reality is guess what? That's where heaven starts. It was all a lie.
So I've had a family member who had cancer, but when he passed, he actually didn't die from cancer. It was an operation that he had to help resolve things that was part of because he had cancer. But also I've had so many friends, and I've had family that
Okay,
had cancer.
so first
that's a
what I
big
want
thing.
you to do, and understand this, does everybody hear that how hard it is for her to talk about this? Do you see how she has to be hurt when she talks about this? Because she needs to suffer because they suffered? So how much do you need to suffer when you tell the story? And the reality is do we really need to say they died? Can we say they passed on? Okay, because guess what? You know what we love here? We love divorce. We love disease. We love death. Okay? All right? We love dying. Okay? These are all the words that they give us, and that's how we talk. All right? You know, I never ever divorced my wife, and even if I would never do that. And the mother of my children, I never ever did. She wanted it. I never gave it to her. And then she never ever remarried. And if she wanted it, I said, you go ahead and get it, but I'm not going to buy into any of this stuff. You know, stop buying into the stuff. They didn't die. Do you get that? But see, it's all about the suffering with you.
Well,
Let me tell you, no, we're not doing this. You want to retell the story differently. So what is it? Why are you up here? Are you up here to feel broken again? Or are you up here to find some answers? Or are you up here to just get something off your chest?
no, I'm here for answers.
Okay, then guess what? I've been be here for answers.
Okay. So I basically am
Remember something. If you're going to cry over the same thing all the time, that's insanity. So I need you to be up here and be a BraveHeart hero. I need you to come up here and you need to do this. You need to react differently. They want you to react like this.
I think the reason why I probably am a bit emotional is because I know what you have just said, but so I said,
Just make sure you're going to say what you're going to say and you really believe it, and it's not your subconscious trying to get in the middle of our conversation.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say, so you think about that. Because if I smell a little whiff of that. So now I want you to put your hand on your heart, and I want you to talk from your heart. And I don't want you to talk from the program.
So my stepfather passed away 2 years ago, and my father, who gave me life, passed away about a month ago.
That your father that gave you what?
Life.
Love?
Life.
What do you mean he gave you life?
My biological father.
Okay, but do you see how she did it? Did you see again? You see, what was it about? It was, yeah, life. He gave me life. It's all about, he gave me life, so I will take on death now. Do you see how the boom, you know, we got to get into this. We have to do this, right? Tell the story differently. No, do you see what you're doing?
I think I was just trying to explain why I might feel emotional.
Okay, no. You were telling, that's right. And the reality is I'm asking you if the emotional part is serving you. Or should we try to tell the story from more like a BraveHeart so that we can have clarity and maybe move to a different level?
Okay. So
Is this empowering the way you're talking? I'm telling you, when somebody leaves the planet, you're going to feel it. You love them. But watch out how you tell the story. The way she's telling the story, she's in trouble.
Okay, so basically what I am wanting to hope for is how to, I know how to treat someone who has cancer. I know we should have an alkaline diet.
Okay, one second. Let's make this perfectly clear. Okay. Cancers hate. Cancers hate. They hate their life, they hate themselves. But you don't want to believe it? It's hate. Is cancer inflammation? Is it the strongest? It's stage 4 inflammation, right? So they're on fire. What got them on fire? Do you think it was just the way they ate? Or do you think it was the way they thought about life and themselves? What do you think?
I don't know, but my dad, my stepdad, he was the most kind,
Okay, guess what? Did you ever
giving person.
Okay, so bear with me. Bear with me. Boy, he was such a nice guy. And guess what? He was a chameleon. He would do anything to get along. We're not looking for nice guys. Nice guys do not make it. Nice guys are not authentic. Nice girls are not authentic. They suffer a lot. I just want you to know I've got a quarter century of psychology. Just going to pass that over here for a second and let you know this, that guess what? People are beautiful. But what if he was a nice guy, but he was truthful and he loved himself? He would hold the line better. Let me tell you something. A person that doesn't know how to love themselves will be a nice guy because they need love. They want everybody to approve of them. I don't want you to disapprove of me, but I don't want you to approve of me, and I'm not going to pretend to be something just because you'll like me. And understand something. That's the majority of the population. Let me tell you something. You're a nice girl. And you will do and say things and compromise to get love from people. I will not do that because it weakens them. And we feed off each other. You need to think about this. Was your father a bad person? Absolutely not. Not 1% was he a bad person. But understand something. If you don't have unconditional love for yourself, then you will never be at ease. Because you can't get enough love. Because now you're using the world like a gas station to fill you up. And that's almost everybody in this room. Let me ask you a question. And don't fib. Are you married?
I am.
Where is he?
He's over there smiling at me.
Where?
My daughter.
Where? Okay.
Over there.
All right. Well, he's not smiling. Your daughter is. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. How much does he fill your heart?
A lot.
How much percentage-wise? Your heart's 100%.
Depends
Remember
what
something.
day.
You don't have to believe in anything that I say, so don't get upset. I'm here to challenge. How much?
Depends what day.
That's right. But that's right. But hold on. But usually, let's average it. When he's doing what you want him to, how much? That's it.
100%.
That's right. And guess what? And when he's not, it's 0, and she's pissed, and she's going to have a bad day. Now, I do not rely on Lori to put any percentage of love into my heart. I only fill up my own heart, and no matter what Lori's feeling like, I am unconditionally going to love her and not make her responsible for anything. You make him responsible for making you happy. Your daughter, okay, when he does it, you go to her. Look at just the way you talk, just the way you talk about things, I already know that. I already know that. You count on people to love you, and that means that, guess what? Now you're going to do things out of getting love, not being love. I want to do things because I am love, not because I need to get love. And understand, this doesn't make you a bad person. This just makes you the majority of the population, where you look at everyone and make them into a nipple. And guess what? We can't live without love, and you got sucker punched. And she was told that she wasn't good enough. Like the rest of us, like me, I wasn't good enough to love. So if I'm not good enough to love, I'm going to do alcohol, I'm going to do drugs, okay? Oh, I'm definitely going to be frustrated. I'm definitely going to overeat and get fat. I'm definitely not going to look after myself and be not at ease. So then if you're not at ease, you get a what? A disease. And I'm absolutely right. And 1 and 1 are 2 and not 11. And understand this. You do not love yourself very much. And your family will tell you that, but you are a beautiful spirit, mother, wife. But no, you don't take time for yourself. You don't let everybody know that this is mine and I need this much for me. And that's the God's truth, and that's why you came up here to sit beside me. And guess what? Your family needs to know that so that they can help you to actually start loving you, because you need to pull this sucker off. Because you suffer all the time, and she suffers quietly. And you know that. And when she'll come out and say things, but she holds so much in. Death, dying, disease. She holds it in here because guess what? When you don't have self-worth, you vibrate low and you are a magnet to the wrong things. And this is wrong, and she should not have to be like this because she is a beautiful woman. And I'm not just saying it.
That's very kind of you.
No, I'm not kind. I will never be kind. I will never be kind. I will be truthful. That would say, there, say, that's very truthful of you. Say that.
That's very truthful of you.
Yeah, and say, because I am a hot, sexy woman. Say it. Try it.
I am a hot, sexy woman.
That's right, you are. Mwah. Sorry, Lori. Next victim. Nobody's a victim here. Understand that. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. I put myself on the line for you, and I'll do it every day for you. I don't have some kind of personality disorder. I know that if I truly love someone, I'm going to hold the line for them. And we're going to go in there together, inside them, and I'm going to help them find something so beautiful. That's it. Nothing else. Why don't we take a 5-10 minute break, and then what I'll do is we'll work on some people, and we'll see if we can make them squeal. Thank you. We'll come back and bring you back on if you'd like. Have a beautiful one, guys.